everybody from the edge of America. I'm Rick Amato. First of all, I would like to welcome all of our new viewers on ATTUverse across America. Welcome to our show and our network. One America News and the Rick Amato Show launched today on channels 1208 on high def and channel 208 in SD on ATT and Uverse. We welcome you. Now, we've been on the air for a handful of weeks now with Verizon, Fios, and a handful of other cable providers, and we will work diligently here at the Rick Amato Show to earn your loyal daily viewership. By the way, we're on the air Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. Welcome. Now, speaking of working diligently, someone who has not done so has been President Obama and his administration on the issue of the treatment of our nation's veterans in the VA healthcare system. Remember, by the way, the VA system was held up as a model of success to be copied by those who advocated for Obamacare. And now we have this. What President Obama said today at this morning's press conference was an insult to the intelligence of all Americans, Republican or Democrat, doesn't matter, and to the dignity of our nation's veterans. This morning, he referred to the crisis as allegations. Then he went on to use the exact same language that he previously used when first talking about the Tea Party scandal, the Fast and Furious scandal, the Benghazi scandal, and other stories. He said he is furious if the allegations are true. And someone, he went on to say, will be held accountable. We've heard all that tired, old rhetoric before. Let's take a look at this video from this morning.
When I hear allegations of misconduct, any misconduct, whether it's allegations of VA staff covering up long wait times or cooking the books, I will not stand for it. But we have to let the investigators do their job and get to the bottom of what happened. I assure you, if there is misconduct, it will be punished. I'm going to keep on fighting to deliver the care and the benefits and the opportunities that your families deserve.
All right, join me this time from Washington, D.C. as a gentleman who's made a living at following both Republican and Democratic White Houses and their administrations. He is Keith Koffler, publisher, editor of White House Dossier. Keith, welcome to the show.
Rick, thanks very much.
All right. I felt what we saw today was insulting. You heard me in the monologue to all Americans. I don't care if it's Republican or Democrat, Independent, Libertarian. It doesn't matter. As well as to the dignity of veterans. What did you think about today?
It was terribly insulting. It was a travesty. I mean, this is something that supposedly he was going to focus on from day one. Even before day one, he was talking about it. And what happened? It's gotten worse. People are actually dying waiting to get care from the Veterans Administration. I mean, this is something, if he wants to talk about accountability, he's the one that needs to be held accountable. But, of course, he's not going anywhere. So, and, of course, it was terribly insulting. I mean, what he actually did, think about it, is he went through his list of accomplishments, perceived accomplishments, at the VA, discussing how he's thrown more money at this and that. But clearly, this is not a money issue. This is not a typical sort of liberal. Liberal solution to everything. Yeah, we spent a lot more money on this and that. There are systemic problems here that he failed to address. And if there's anybody that needs to be held accountable for this, it's the President of the United States. But for also Shinseki, whom he didn't fire today.
The other thing here is he's sort of bragging that things are better now than they were under President George W. Bush. Keith, this problem has been growing since 2001 as we have seen more and more veterans, more and more American soldiers sent off to war in Afghanistan and Iraq. The problem has grown at the VA. But what is different from what we can tell at this point, and this is where he lied and insulted everyone's intelligence, what is different this time is that we did not have the corruption of a cover-up of a double set of standard of books and wait lists being used under George W. Bush as we have under President Barack Obama. It is worse, not better. Do you disagree or agree with that?
No, I agree with it. I mean, if people are dying, then things are worse. And yes, this has been something that was true under Bush as well, that there were problems there. But President Obama, was supposed to be the guy who was going to get to the bottom of it, and he didn't. And yes, there's been cooking the books. And I think that a real problem here is President Obama's leadership style. I mean, he is very hands-off. He seems to be playing a lot more golf than doing anything else. I really wonder if he's ever met personally with Eric Shinseki at the White House. If they've ever once had a one-on-one, I'd be very surprised. This is a president who does not get into the details. And I've covered the White House for a long time. The way that you get agencies to get their butts into gear and to watch things is when they know that there is presidential attention to this issue. And I think I have no inkling that there has been really any of that other than to spend money, make a few speeches, and so forth. I'd really like the investigation that's going on to find out what specifically President Obama has done about the problems at the Veterans Affairs Administration.
Is this something Eric Holder will be involved in terms of the investigation at all, Keith Koffler?
No, so far I would very much doubt that Holder would get involved. I mean, the people that are involved now, I mean, talk about the Foxes investigating the problems in the chicken coop. I mean, they've got Veterans Affairs investigating this, and Obama sent over one of his closest aides over to the VA to see what's going on. Now, these people are, if they uncover any serious problems that might implicate anybody in the White House, they're not going to look at that. So people dying calls out for an independent investigation. There really needs to be somebody independent of this administration, even independent of Congress, to take a look at this and find out why our veterans are waiting for this care when they are gravely ill, and why they are dying while they're waiting to go see a doctor at the VA.
1,100 veterans dead since 2001 through the first half of 2013. Now, Keith, here's a point I want to make to our viewers. I've been making it for a few days now, but we have so many new viewers with us tonight from AT&T. From ATT Uverse, I want to make the point again. This is why this story is different than Benghazi, than the IRS, than Fast and Furious. Those stories never became scandals, so to speak, which resonated with the mainstream media, which resonated with the American population, because they were partisan issues. The Democrats could easily not side with Republicans. This is different. We have members of Congress who are combat veterans who are both Democrat and Republican. We have people all across America who are veterans themselves, combat veterans who have a D or an R after the name. And that's why this is different. That's why this president needs to take this thing much more seriously, or it will engulf his administration. The other problem he has, he's handling this. He's, from PR standpoint, he's performing horribly. Number one, they waited way too long to address this, and two, he came out, as you said, Keith Koffler, looking bedraggled and, just as I said, using the same language, the same rhetoric, the same. And look what I did that's so good that he's used before, and it's just not going to work, I believe. Your take on that.
Well, yeah, it's not going to work because everybody is angry about this. You know, Democrats, Republicans are all patriots. We disagree on some things, but we're all patriots, and Democrats are going to be demanding accountability. They cannot run away from this thing over on the campaign trail. They're going to have to address it. They're going to hear from constituents who are veterans who are going to be very unhappy. You're right. The president has to do more than wait 3 weeks to give a little spin that Jay Carney could have done, which is what he finally did today. They're just handling it wrong, and they don't understand how bad this is.
They're handling it wrong. Keith Koffler, White House dossier, thank you for joining us. So who will be our Jag-Off of the day? Jag-Off of the day is next, plus a whole lot more. Stay with me. You're watching The Rick Amato Show on One American News.